Yo, what's up, guys? All right, hang on a second. I was not prepared per usual. Let me get the overhead cam fired up. Let's see. Shutting down on me. Pull the wrong plug. Damn it. All right. Bear with it. We're almost home. So we're going to talk about, I'm just setting up the camera if you're just tuning in. And then we'll talk about the latest sorcery news. I want to get the overhead cam going in case we want to look at a few things, which we always do. So, couple settings, good to go. All right. What is on this table over here? What is this? What is this? All right. All right, here we go. What we need to do here is add another screen for the overhead cam. And as you guys are queuing up there, if you want to post some questions or thoughts about the latest sorcery news, we can get into that. All right, so what we're going to do is call this Arthouse settings. Let's see. Camera, the ZV1, audio, whatever. Mute that guy. Enter the studio. All right. Add that. Boom. All right, guys. How's the audio? We good? Do that. Freaking bar. That freaking bar right there. Right there. It's because I reconfigured my desk and I made some adjustments. Let me do this. You can see there's a window over there. Nah, is that? Yeah, there's a window over there. So this back wall, there we go. Look at that, no bar. All right, hang on. And I put it on this other stand, which was supposed to improve things. But yeah, it's deeply. This lighting's absurd. It's deeply washed out, but it is what it is. Yeah, that's you need the classic bar for the art house scene. What's up, Sean? All right, so we got, what does this say? Sophie or Jen? Sophie here. Jen's is playing D&D. Dude, where's my sorcery? Yeah, that's right. Where is the beta? So the audio's good? Yeah, audio's good. Grendel's Gallery, what's up, man? All right, so we got the keyboard here. We were going to talk about the news update, so I could pull that up. What I wanted to do really quick first, I just did a video short with this guy here. So what we have here, if there's any Seagrave fans out there, is the original paint. Look at this insane original painting by Dan Seagrave for Scorched Earth. The picture I took was not that great. It was a little washed out. I'm gonna have to play with the lighting a little bit, but you can see here how vibrant this is, and just the insane amount of detail like you get in all of Seagrave's artworks. This is just some tape, you know, the way I had this secured. I probably should have put it in my Padfolio, but anyway, let me zoom in here so we can see the full effect of the beautiful, intricate detail from the master, Dan Seagrave. This is an amazing piece. Scorched Earth, you know? So there's his signature at the bottom. I almost dropped it. So you got Seagrave 2020. 20? Yeah, it says 20. Or does it say 2020? 2020. All right. So painting commissions for this game started in like 2018 timeframe. So here we are, almost 4 years later. See, there's not a month, right? It just says 2020. So we're about almost 4 years later. You have this amazing painting from Dan Seagrave from Alpha. Dan sold pretty much all of his original paintings. I think he sold all but one or two, maybe, that he's holding on to, right? So a lot of these are out there in the wild. I actually just sold the Tower of Babel for someone for consignment. This is also a consignment offer. So this will be up for auction next week. And I just kind of wanted to showcase that and show you guys live how incredible this looks and how mind-blowing the detail and the amazing lighting to capture the essence of Scorched Earth. So it's an elite rarity card in the game. and just a really epic artwork. Most of Dan's work were in 2 sizes, so this one is pretty decent size. I'd say it's probably 9 by 12, 8 by 10, or 9 by 12. I'll put a card on there for reference. You got the Captain Baldessari. So, it's a pretty nice size painting. Very practical to put on your wall. Beautiful piece of art. The great Dan Seagrave. All right, so I'm going to put that safely aside. And last thing with regard to the auctions tonight, at 8 p.m. Eastern on the Sorcery Contested Realm Community Facebook group, we'll have the Grail of Grails, the Philo Stone Gem Mint 10 from CGC. It is a foil, as you can see. So there's the full art side. There's the Gem Mint foil. This is going to go up tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time in the U.S. 48-hour auction will go till Monday night, Labor Day, 8 p.m. Eastern. And to my knowledge, it might be the first graded slabbed Philo Stone offered for sale. So that'd be really cool and interesting to see how that does. There is one. We just ran an auction for a raw Philo Stone, raw meaning ungraded, paired with a aquamarine core, both in foil. And that package sold for $6,500. I think the auction ended at $6,000. It did not hit the reserve. And then what happens when it does not hit the reserve is that the top bidders have the first right of refusal at the seller's desired reserve price. And one of the bidders agreed to that price, $6,500. So that was a pretty good sale. I think, we've seen raw Philos going for around $6,500 by themselves. So the guy got the core almost like for free. It was a tremendous deal. The core did have a roller line on it. But these Philo Stones look absolutely amazing. I've probably handled at least 6 to 8 of these. Personally myself, I've sold many of them. And I don't think I ever saw one that had any kind of like roller line like a lot of these foils tend to do. Oftentimes, and the stamping is really clean on this one, so you can see why it was graded a Gem Mint. It looks like the centering is pretty solid. That's like also sometimes an issue where you get some tilt. Like you could tell from the text box up top and down below. Sometimes it's a little tilted on an angle and it's not quite perfectly centered the way it gets printed. But this one, Gem Mint 10, really big time score from CGC. And it's a very rare card in and of itself, and graded at that level makes it next level special. So, all right, let's go to the announcement, right? And let me see. Should I call up Discord? Let's see. Trinity Games, what's up, man? All right, audio excellent. Cosmic Seeds, thank you for that. I'm going to go out on a limb and guess this is an AL piece. Now, the one I just showed, that's Scorched Earth. It's an Elite in Alpha. From Dan Seagrave. Or are you guys talking about something else? I don't know. I'm behind on the commentary. Audio's 5 out of 5. Yeah, so let's talk about the update. I'm gonna go to the I'm just gonna go to the Facebook group page because I had a summary there of the details of this announcement. Let me close a bunch of nonsense I got up here. All right, so we're going to do that. We're going to present. Let me share screen. So I'm going to do. So I'm kind of somewhat looking in the direction of the camera. What I'm going to do here. Oh, shit. All right, let's see. Yep. All right. So if you guys are following on Facebook, it looks like. Yeah. Again, if you follow on Facebook, I can't see what your name is. I think you got to do something special to be able to do that. All right. All right. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna present the screen. Share screen. Yeah. Whatever. All right. Tell your screen. Sure, why not? You guys can see my security updates. One guy says, yeah, you got to get those security updates done. Or I think he called it a risk of some kind. All right, here we go. I don't know how you even saw that. I still haven't done the updates. All right, so here we go. Florida, what's up, man? All right, so we're in the Sorcery Contested Realm community Facebook group. And, all right, so what we're going to do here, there I am, live. And, yeah, a couple of guys. There's John. He's in the stream. I wanted to go to my post from yesterday. Sophie did a video on this release. So several people did a video. I think Louie did one. Hey, Louie. And Sophie did one. This guy's live for auction. Did you guys realize that this is Eric right here? Wait, do I have that one? Hang on a second. Let me show this real quick. Yeah, I didn't show the one that's currently live. I don't know if you guys noticed, but that is so let me remove that. Oh shit. I removed the wrong one, guys. Hang on. All right, I'm going to remove the let's get this guy back. Remove the screen share. Go to that. A little switcheroo. Yeah, all right. So this right here, I don't know if people realize this. Like someone asked me, is this a self-portrait? In the Collector Arthouse Discord, they said, is this a self-portrait? It's not me. I don't know if they were asking, is that me? It's this in the top loader, it's unfortunate. It looks kind of dark. What's up with my lighting right now? It's not as seems like it's not as bright as usual. But this is Eric standing in front of the bullfrog. Yeah, you didn't realize it was Eric? So take a closer look here. It looks like him, right? He's got kind of like a goofy grin. That's why it's hilarious. You know, see, this is the Brob Dingnag Bullfrog. It's an exceptional beast with a giant appetite. So what, actually, this I thought was going to be the first one that Mikhail told me he was going to do. And he's like, hey, I got this idea of the bullfrog eating Eric. So I thought he was going to be like more in his belly or like falling out of his mouth or something, which would also be hilarious. But this is what he sent, right? And it shows like Eric just looking like jolly and goofy as hell standing in front of this bullfrog. And the bullfrog's amazing itself, too. Look at the texture and the color of the frog. And then Eric just chilling here with his hands on his hips. Like a total Chad, just saying like, yeah, this is my realm, my frog. I do what I want, and I will not be eaten. I will not be carried in the belly of the giant appetite of the Brob Dingnag Bullfrog. Genesis, Brob Dingnag Bullfrog swallows another target minion here. He carries it disabled in his belly until he leaves the realm. So, Eric's not having it, right? You will not be denied. I thought it might be Mikhail first time I saw it, but wasn't sure how he looked. Oh. Excuse me. Mikhail is I could pull up the website later. I got a picture of him, but he's a fairly young guy. He's he lives in Slovakia, and he doesn't speak much English. It's kind of funny, so we talk over Facebook Messenger a lot. And I had him on for my showcase box break. You guys might have seen him then. His girlfriend was on. It was really nice. Was translating for him a bit. I think, you know, as typical, people can typically understand another language better than they can speak it. So I think he understands pretty well, and he was understanding some of the things I was saying, but his girlfriend was helping him translate. But yeah, what I wanted to show you guys here. All right, so he sent me several sketches, and with several of these artist proofs, not all, but several of them, he is also offering an accompanying sketch, right? So here, this sketch is a little more rough, like the formation of Eric. I would say this looks a little less like Eric, but you see how he sketched this out in nice detail, and it's it'll be like ready, kind of like matted almost, and ready to frame, you know. So this will come with it as part of the auction. I send this off to the auction winner, along with the card, and you can see the size. It's a pretty decent size. It'd be pretty nice and fun to frame together. And color's just next level. That's freaking awesome concept. And then let me see. I'll preview the one that's coming tonight and save the other one so I don't spoil them too much. Oh, actually, so this one we had last night, I really love this piece. The one tonight doesn't have a sketch with it, but this one I thought was like really touching, cool concept. I think I brought did I bring the actual? No, I think I still have it here. Yeah, I thought I brought it downstairs, but this one was a really awesome concept that I thought was super creative. Look how like the color brings it to next level. Someone mentioned this in the Collector Arthouse Discord too. You know, like how the water looks really great. That's something that Mikhail's really good at. but the color choices when you go from pencil sketch to color really brings it to life, and it's interesting how they select these choices, right? So you have kind of like a vibrant yellow, which makes it really pop, and these nice red shutters, and then the clothes they're wearing also makes a big difference. I feel like the blue wardrobe type thing that this man or woman, I guess it's a woman, is holding there. And I don't know if she's holding a beer or what. It was kind of my interpretation when I saw it, is that the world is being flooded. This is the flood card, and it's a epochal inundation. Affected sites are flooded. Affected sites are flooded. They're water sites. It reads kind of awkwardly. An exceptional aura of epochal inundation. And then it says, nature is the anvil that has broken many hammers. Right? So you have the horses basically on the verge of drowning, being consumed. The house is being taken over, and these guys are basically in one of the windows of this house, as it appears, because it's yellow, right? Was my assumption. And they're just having one last salute, couple of buddies, or a couple, who knows. One last salute before the end of the world. Beautiful, beautiful concept. Really nice by Mikhail. I really like that one. But yeah, this is cool. This is the first one. This is the first time. This is the first attempt we've seen at an Eric painting. So that's pretty special. I think that's at $500 right now. It just hit the reserve. So that one's going to sell tonight. And I will preview the next one that's going to come tonight from Mikhail. This is one that I personally... Again, this one does not have a sketch with it. He sent me a few more, but this one is one of the most popular artworks from Mikhail, I would say, in the set. Sinkhole. This is a beautiful, beautiful landscape. Really amazing amount of detail he was able to fit on this card and for this illustration. So this one, it is an elite site, so it's pretty high end. It says, sacrifice sinkhole, destroy a nearby site. So Sinkhole was a very iconic epic card in Magic the Gathering. The name, I think it's a bit of a homage here. And different take on a sinkhole. So you have a nice farm, and all of a sudden you have this ominous sinkhole, right? So I've done a couple of commissions, and I'm actually working on another concept. It's always fun when these get done to share with the community after these are commissioned and sold. But I think I've sold, was it 2 different sinkhole concepts so far? And now this is another one that we're working on a concept with another fan of the game. And you'll see that. It's kind of like an embellished print. Artists typically don't want to replicate the exact painting, the exact original. So it's usually based on the original. So you get like a similar type background or base construct of what the original illustration looked like. So it's very clear. But then there's like a twist, right? So there was one he did where he painted this scene over again. A little different. The field colors were a little different. And then he painted like the dark tower off on the horizon here. That came out really beautifully. I think I shared it on the Collector Arthouse Discord and also the Sorcery Contested Realm Community Facebook group. But this one is an artist proof. You could tell by the square corners, right? And on that point, my speculative theory is that, here we are. We thought we were a month away from beta, right? We're actually now 2 months away from beta. And we have not heard a peep about what is going on with these artist proofs. For beta and beyond, right? So I am speculating that I don't think we're going to see beta proofs. So I think there's only going to be 25 of these from alpha. And I wonder, there's been some talk that they might do a revised set. So perhaps like in Magic the Gathering, they did technically beta proofs. They didn't have them for alpha, and there's like a story behind that on the timing. So beta was the first. And then when they reprinted the same artwork illustrations in revised and what else? Revised 4th edition, 5th edition, 6th edition. I don't know how many editions they had. They would reprint the artist proofs. But here, if he does not reprint them for beta, and again, at this juncture, since they have not announced that, I'm going to assume that it's not going to happen. Then will he reprint those for revised, or will the illustrations only ever have 25 copies? That's the one big wild card that I think gives artist proof some intrigue and upside. The other is the square corners. So in Magic, they started off with square corners and then they went to rounded. So I think that may also be an alpha exclusive, which could be pretty fascinating and add the a little extra flavor and probably value for the alpha proofs. All right, so the square corners tell you it's a proof, and then the blank back would tell you it's a proof. And I'm about to show you. Oh wait. Damn. Close call. My laptop was not charging. All right, so this art is proof. Take it all in. Take a close look at the majestic beauty of this Atlas site artwork by Mikhail, because you're going to want to keep it in mind and compare to the painting you're about to see on the back, which was mind-blowing when I opened this up. I was really blown away by how beautiful this is. Look at that painting. It looks like it's actually printed on the card. It's just so beautifully, phenomenally done. I actually love this better than the original, or the way it got printed on the card, because it just looks, the color choices here again make all the difference, right? So if you look at the regular card, look at the colors of the field. You know, they're similar colors, but the sinkhole, he kind of removed the sinkhole and added this lazy river of sorts, or this beautiful, beautiful blue river going through, right? So the bridge is repaired. It shows almost like the scene before the sinkhole, right? That's just like Sean just said, before the sinkhole, beautiful. So before the sinkhole, and before this bridge shatters and falls into the sinkhole for the impending collapse, you have this beautiful, beautiful scene right here. What's up, John? Thanks for joining, man. Yeah, this is gorgeous. You know, like a lot of times I see these artist proofs, and like I would never bid on my own auction, and I've never like offered to say like to an artist that I work with, like, hey, can I just buy it? Although I've been tempted like a million times, almost every time. I'm like, God, I don't want to sell this one. Can I just buy it? I always just sell it for them, because that's the agreement, right? Through the auctions and whatnot. But this is one that I almost like desperately want to own myself. There's just like some that come along every so often where you're just like, oh my God, that's incredible. Because I like these like natural beauty scenes. You guys know I'm a big fan of Andrea Modesti. I've purchased several of his paintings, and I just like a positive, like colorful, optimistic type. That's the type of artwork that often resonates with me. I like some of the darker art too, like the Seagrave we just saw too. It was like a scorched earth. I really appreciate and love the detail in something like that. But something like this just looks like so beautiful and really hits close to home. You know, that peaceful scene and that beautiful color. All right, so that is a big artist proof that'll be coming. I'm gonna run that one tonight along with the Gem Mint Philo Stone, right? Gem Mint 10 CGC. This one will be 48 hours. The Mikhail artist proof will be 24 hours. So the Mikhail one will run tonight till tomorrow night, and this one tonight till Monday. All right, so let's catch up on comments here. I saw you guys kind of chiming in a bit. I'm not good at multitasking on these streams. I don't know how people do that, where they're kind of smooth, just talking about whatever topic they intended to, and are able to keep up with chat. So he said, I thought it looked like Mr. Frogman himself. Sean's talking about the bullfrog with Eric in front. Yeah, so Sean D said he thought it was Mikhail. Drinking in the flood. Suck sorcery can be weighed for the foil for the packs. Yeah. You know, like on that point, like Simon actually said that there's only so much you can do to prevent things like that. You know, like it can add a little weight. I mean, if you have a high fidelity scale, I guess, but I don't know, man. It's pretty typical. You can't really prevent it all. I think, yeah, it's a little inconclusive, I think. I don't know. You guys are debating whether it can be done or not. It's hard to say. That's a lot of detail. Yeah, before the sinkhole, beautiful. Seagrave is my favorite. I hope you get an artist proof of Orb of Bell. Yeah, man. I did talk to Seagrave a while back, and it was kind of funny. He basically said, like, so I asked him, I was like, hey, man, you know, let me show. So this isn't like as boring. Let me just show you a few artist proofs while we're talking. He basically said, like, I asked him about these artist proofs, and I was like, what is your plan with these artist proofs? Are you going to be selling these things or what? Because, like, everyone loves your artwork, and, you know, your artist proofs will be huge. He has, like, 10 elites several uniques, you know, the great old one, all these epic unique cards. And he basically said, like, he had no idea what an artist proof was. So he kind of like appreciated that I educated him on that. And he was like, to him, when he does album covers, he gets like a sample from the band or whatever, you know, like the print shop probably. Kind of in the form factor that would go onto the album cover, or if it's a double jacket, you know, like onto the front and back of the album. And he said like it's usually just like nothing, like he just throws it away, or you know, throws it in his like art pad or whatever, like just it has no value. No one ever asked him to buy something like that. So like when he got these proofs, like it was in his contract with Eric, and it said like you're gonna get I think the term Eric used was samples and not proofs, or artist proofs, right? So he couldn't even Google what artist proof was. The contract said sample. So in his mind, a sample is like a preview of what the art's going to look like on the card. That's what he thought. So it turns out he gets these samples, or he finds out he's getting these samples. Everyone's like contacting him and being like, "Hey man, you going to sell these artist proofs, these artist proof cards, huh?" And like he just thought he thought that people were insane. Like he was like, "Why would you want that?" And he ultimately just said he's like too busy right now. I know he's been doing some travel and some shows and things, and gets a lot of commissions. Obviously, he does like a ton of metal album covers. So he just didn't have time, and he might do it at some point. Long story short, but no timeline on that just yet. But yeah, it'll be amazing to see what he can do like on a small scale like this too. What you're looking at here is Vincent Pompetti, obviously. You could tell right away from his style. Captain Baldessari's a big one. So I have a ton of artist proofs from Vincent, and we ran several auctions. But what I'm going to do now is I did another video showcasing these, and maybe we can like look at them a little later if there's time. But I'm just going to offer these direct. I tried some claim sales on Facebook. The problem is not everybody's on Facebook, not everybody's on Discord, so it kind of fragments the market. So I want to showcase these on YouTube. A lot of people are on YouTube and not on other social media. So I'm just going to show them. And if you guys, I have like Vincent Pompetti has 25 cards in Alpha, right? And I have several copies of every single artwork that Vincent did for Alpha available. So you can just contact me if you're interested in any of his artworks. Just go to the collectorarthouse.com website, and you can see I have all of the cards grouped by artist. So it's very easy to see all of Vincent's work. And then, like, if you're interested in any specific artworks, you can just let me know, and I will send you pictures. There's Dodge Roll, you know, and you could let me know what you're interested in, and I'll let you know the price. And if you buy, one person bought an entire set of all 25. Quite expensive, you know, because that's a lot of paintings. All of these take like several hours to do. They're very significant. So that's why these are so valuable. And he bought an entire set because he loved Pompetti. And it looked freaking amazing. I posted it on the Sorcery community group and Instagram and a few places. So all of these will be available, or are available. You could just contact me, and I could let you know the pricing. And if what I was getting at is if you wanted a complete set, you'd get it at a discounted price. Or if you bought like a handful or several, we can work out a price. Usually, like I have benchmarks that the targets or that the artist wants to sell for, and then some parameters where if you buy in bulk, you get a discount, or we could talk about that. And you know, the artist ultimately decides what the minimum they're willing to sell for would be. So yeah, all 25 from the set. I'm kind of giving you a quick preview here to give you some of the idea and flavor of what they look like. You know, all the artists have their own signature style. Couple he tagged for the original painting purchaser, but yeah, amazing artworks, great diversity. I think I missed a few questions here. So how are people feeling about the news? From a shoulder shrug, they're running away from the game. Yeah, we'll talk about the news in a minute. I went off on a tangent here. Did Vincent ever reach out about the Imperial Road? Yeah, I'll you wanted an Imperial Road, Sophie, right? Yeah, so I'm gonna I'll follow up with you on that. Just send me like a DM so I don't forget, because there is one. He actually put a sticky note on it when he mailed these out to me, and he said, "Hey, maybe this one would be good for Sophie," because I know you guys had talked previously. So Yeah, I just got to follow up with you, and if you want it, I've kind of set that aside to reserve it for you. I think it had like a label on it on the outside heart on the Actually, it was funny. He sent it with the he basically you know those like the sorcery binders. So all the artists got a sorcery binder, right? And Eric sent their artist proofs in this binder. And what Vincent did when he sent me his all of his artist proofs, the 25, he basically just ripped out like five, like I don't know, like 5-10 pages out of his binder. I don't know if he cut it with scissors or something, but it looked like it was like ripped out of the binder, and he just had the cards inserted in there, painted, in a couple like per sleeve, and that was it. Like, I mean, I took everyone out delicately, and I put it in a penny sleeve and a top loader to protect it very securely. But he had a few labeled for people that he had talked to previously, and I do have one for Sophie. So I put some Spellcraft cards in here. Let's see. So I'll get with you, Sophie, on that. Do you think they may print more than they originally did because of demand? Yeah, we need to talk about that. Any Lindsay Crumette coming up soon? Yes. Lindsay has 3 done so far. She had 4. She offered one to someone I helped her sell her last painting to, original painting, which was Scarecrow. So that one's gone, but beyond that, she's done 3 more, and we're working out also some other things that some prints I'm working out with Lindsay. So she's going to get those prints done. And then at that time, she's going to mail out her first 3 artist proofs, and those will be offered through auction. And then she'll be working on some more. But, like I say, these things take hours of time, so they could only work so fast. And some artists have more free time at the moment than others, but all of them are very busy working for Eric, for Arthurian Legends and beyond. Let's see. So let's get to. Let me see if I can add this back. All right, guys. All right, what we wanted to do. All right. Hang on. All right, there's Eric. All right, so we were in the Facebook group. Oh, I was talking with Lindsay. Sorry. Yeah. So all right. So the Philo Stone. I wanted to go. Let's start talking about the news update. Where did I summarize? Here we go. All right, so here's the post. So Simon comes out with this video, right? And he's got all these like paintings back there. So he used to have these album covers. He had I think he had Abbey Road and I don't know, like a few Beatles albums and things like that, right? So those are all done. They're off the wall, right? And he's got Jeff Menges, Ogre Goons. This is the Swiven Scout, right? And then you have the Wayfaring Pilgrim. This looks like in the background it was Miracle Workers. Is that what it is? Let me go to... here, let's do this. Oh, look, I got it up. How convenient. All right, guys. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go cards. This is what I was talking about. If you want to go look at the Pompetti. Pompetti has 25 illustrations. Every single one of these I have artist proofs for. At least one. In some cases, 3, 4, 5. But I sold an entire set of these and several others as well. People are just contacting me directly because I've previewed them on YouTube several times. And if you like any of these artworks, just let me know. I'll send you a picture of all the ones that I have available for that particular artwork. And again, I'll let you know the pricing. And if you want to work out a deal for multiple, we can do that. But what I was going to do here is go to... who are we talking about here? I lost my train of thought. Who was I looking up? Menges, right? Jeff Menges. So Simon comes on the camera, and he had... let's see, which pieces does Simon have? He had Miracle Workers, that's correct. That was the one right behind his head. Ogre Goons was the one that Jeff brought to Gen Con. And he brought it. Jeff brought it to Gen Con. Simon brought it home. Swiven Scout was the other one we saw. And then here you go, Wayfaring Pilgrim is the other one. And then he also had, let's go back to Facebook now. He had, right here, he had a Drew Tucker and Tangle Terrain, I believe is what that was. And then I know, we've seen Simon in the Discord. He's shown he has Devil's Eggs and Devil's Egg and I saw. No, I won't say what the other one is. I think it was from one of my auctions, and I think when the artist was on my channel, this person said what it was, but yeah, I don't know if Simon's disclosed that, so I won't say. All right. Did Aussie ever receive his proofs? He did, yes. There was a delay with his. I think they went back and forth from New Zealand, so there was a bit of an issue there. I've had several problems with that myself, where Eric sent me stuff that went back and forth to New Zealand. So fingers crossed. He's sending the him or Rosette, I think, who is the logistics person for Eric's Curioso, will be sending the uncut sheets. So fingers crossed that there's not a snag with logistics on that. I don't know why it gets to customs, it gets sent back to New Zealand. He has to send it again. It's a nightmare. So fingers crossed that does not happen with these uncut sheets. But yeah, all right. So you leaked it, not me. The Fire Salamander is the other one that Simon has. So Simon, so Aussie did eventually get his proofs, and I'll follow up with him. I'm not sure what his plan is with those or when he's going to have time to take that on. He's also a guy that gets commissioned a ton. Very successful artist. All right, guys. So let's go back. All right. Here were my notes on the announcement. 6 key items. The 7th was just a change in art from Simon, right? So it says the first one was that the beta release moved to November 10th. So not a lot of people seem to remember this, but once upon a time, beta was supposed to be here on. Let me do. I don't know if this will help at all. I'm going to remove that for a moment. All right. So once upon a time. A second. Where is let me pull up Sophie's comment here to kind of stage it. How are people feeling about the news from shoulder shrug to running away from the game? So we're talking about the beta delay. Once upon a time, beta was supposed to come out in September 1st, as I recall. People don't seem to remember that, but then there was it was mentioned in a video that was the plan. And then it got delayed to October 6th. And they said that the reason why they wanted to do that was to ensure that they had enough time, contingency, and margin to meet that date comfortably and do a singular worldwide release to all markets. So they didn't want it to be like Alpha, where Canadians got it first. It was cool. Like, most people were happy for them. They were the first to the community group Facebook page here that we're looking at. They were opening stuff like boxes constantly every day, showing off their awesome collections and their great hits. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of buzz and excitement, but also obviously like some frustration from other markets. The U.S. got it several weeks later. Not too, I don't know. It was a bit of a wait. And then I think Europe ended up getting it like maybe roughly around the same time or soon after U.S. And then there was more of a delay for Asia. So it was tough, like having a staggered release like that. It's very frustrating for people. So that was the rationale for the October date. Now, they thought they had enough margin and contingency. Obviously, they were comfortable with September once upon a time. Then they were very comfortable with October. Things happen, apparently. The way Simon described it in the video, if I can remember and recap correctly, is that one consideration, as he called it in Discord, is that there's a lot of games coming out in the fourth quarter here, right? Fourth quarter meaning October, November, December, fourth quarter of the calendar year. So this kind of staggered things a bit. There's a few releases going on in October. I think Lorcana just had a big release, and then, I don't know, does Magic have some shit coming out? Magic always has something coming out. But so I wouldn't work around them, right? But there's a lot of new indie TCGs and, more established games coming out with releases. So this staggers it a little bit. You get in on 10 November. The big reason was apparently to ensure that you could have this worldwide release all over the world on the same day, all markets. And there was this point about having these store kits available. He also said, this will ensure definitively that those store kits will get to the stores in time. to coincide with that release. So maybe there was some risk there. I know like Sophie and Jens mentioned that in their video on Cardboard Guide YouTube channel. I watched their video earlier. And yeah, that's a good point. Like maybe, I don't know, maybe that was the reason. I don't know. We don't know exactly, but there was some logistical delays, some issues with meeting the October 6th date. There was a correspondence from Soho. I don't have it. I don't want to pull it up because I don't want to show who sent it to me. But two people sent me this correspondence from Soho, which is Southern Hobby Distribution in the U.S. here. There's two major distributors. There's Soho and there's PhD. They're dealing with sorcery. And there was a Soho rep that said that initially, or like what would have been available is 75% of the print run supply. And then 25% would come in a second wave. Now this matches up with other rumors we were hearing in the official Sorcery Discord, I think it was, or somewhere on in the Discord scene. There's several Discords, and someone was saying they were hearing stores talking about this 2-wave concept, right? And it turns out, like, so we don't know about waves. What it seems to me is that maybe there was a notion that they might attempt to do this in waves because 100% of the supply was not going to be ready by the date. But, you know, based on Simon's words there, based on a few factors, it sounds like, they decided to nix that plan and just do it all on one day, which is November 10th. And hopefully that holds. The other point he made on this is that there is enormous demand for beta. So that's awesome. That's great. I mean, that's not a surprise. Like, I'm offering beta. I partner with a store, right? Because I don't have a direct relationship with the distributors. I haven't been a store before. So, and plus, like, I got a lot of things going on, you know, between content, between consignment deals, between artist representation, and like all the content I do on YouTube and, you know, Collector Arthouse website and whatnot. I didn't want to get bogged down with like selling sealed product, but I thought it would be a strong value proposition and a way to give back to patrons if I offered that at a price below MSRP. And so that's what I'm doing for Patreon. And in order to do that, I partnered with a store and we made a deal where basically I am not getting any profit margin. The store is getting all the margin because I wanted the price to be competitive and attractive as kind of like a thank you to patrons. And so he's getting like enough of a margin where he's going to be comfortable with, you know, damage or loss risk and shipping. Things happen, right? Or whatever, just so it's like worth his time to do it and make the sales. And plus he gets like, you know, part of the deal with distribution is that you want to do a lot of volume, right? So you win favor with the distributors, with these freaking games they play with allocation and whatnot. So it's kind of like a win-win for him and I, a way for me to give back to patrons and, you know, reward people who generously support me through Patreon, and a way for him to sell sorcery and establish that for his store and with his distributor and whatever. He's just kind of like a friend of mine too, so he's doing me a favor in a way. So we have only been told that we're getting the 34 case guarantee. But the point I was getting at on the demand is that I put out a survey for people in my Patreon to gauge demand, and I have at the peak I had like 90, 95, 96 patrons. I think I'm currently at like 85. You know, people come and go for financial reasons or whatever. They, you know, get upset about shit and leave or whatever. All kinds of reasons, you know. Or they just get fed up with the game and just like, or whatever. I'm spending too much money. I gotta cut costs or whatever. So people come and go. I'm at like maybe 85 patrons right now. So when I ran this survey, let's call it like 80 to 90 patrons at the time, there was demand for well over 150 cases, not boxes. And the guarantee is only 34 cases. And like some people responded to the survey. So I had like these different things. I was like, how many cases do you want? and it was like free form entry, right? So there were some fixed numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever, and then like the pre-constructed deck kits, and I think there's like a few play mats or something you could order, right? So I don't know if we're gonna mess around with the play mats. It's kind of a pain in the ass to package and ship those, but basically just talking about booster boxes for a minute. A few people were saying they wanted like 10 cases. Other people were putting in like in the freeform comments, like as many as I could possibly get, like 10 plus, and or they'd come back to the survey and increase their order and all this stuff, right? So it's a massive, overwhelming amount of demand. If you could imagine just 150 cases for just like a smallish player like me, like that's not like a major retailer. And then you have all these other like innkeepers. Like the thing is though, there's like 134 innkeepers from the Kickstarter, I want to say, something like that. I don't think all 34 or all 130 whatever are not going to get the 34 case guarantee, in my opinion. I know I talked to some stores that didn't get it because I wanted to kind of supplement the demand in case. We ordered well beyond the 34 from both distributors, PhD and Soho. We have no clarity, no idea if they're going to give us more than the guarantee. You could only get the guarantee from one distributor, right? So I couldn't get 34 from Soho and 34 from PhD. So we picked just one, the one that, my business partner on this deal, the store, this LGS I partnered with, the one that he does the most business with. So he was assured this week that his 34 is secure. We're going to get the 34, but nothing on what we ordered beyond that. Right. So what they said was we will not hear about that until they said like we might hear about that next week. But that was like before this delay announcement. So now I'm worried like maybe we won't have clarity that soon. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. It'll be very interesting to see if we get more than that. Because now the concern that people are raising based on Simon's comments of this overwhelming demand and their print capacity not being able to keep up with demand is that there is worry that maybe Eric's Curiosa decided to ramp the print run number. Now, they did not say that, but that is a concern that people have. There's a lot of concern with overprinting or the risk of overprinting and how that can cause a lot of volatility in a secondary market and tank valuation of the game, which ultimately scares people off, collectors, investors, speculators, and players alike, because it helps players to have valuable cards. Like when you open a booster box as a player, assuming you can get the box affordably, a lot of players want to flip the flashy high-end cards. Like they don't need to play in a foil variant. A lot of these purists, right? They'll play in a non-foil happily, and they'll sell their foil, and it benefits them greatly if that foil is worth a lot. So then they could go buy all the non-foil cards they need to build out their decks, and maybe get a play set of the non-foils and have no limitations on the decks they can build, right? So you want there to be value. It's very important. Overprinting has been the death blow of a lot of indie TCG games over the years. Simon has a lot of experience in the industry. Eric is a big-time MTG guy from the player side. So they understand these risks, I'm sure. My only concern is that these distributors are notorious for like wooing you and making you feel like the demand is just like so insane. You just can't possibly print enough. And they're a little manipulative in that sense, right? Because they get it all. These stores are overzealous and the customers, and they want to soak it all up or say they want to. And the distributor, passes it on to those stores, and sometimes the customers don't follow through. Maybe something happens. Maybe there's a delay and a lot of people get pissed off and walk away. Maybe there's an issue with the product. Maybe some other game comes and outshines it. There's a million different risk factors why people could lose interest and walk. And then that leaves the stores holding the bag. The distributor's already gotten paid, and the store's holding the bag. So the distributor is going to tell you that we want as many freaking boxes as you possibly can print. And the company's got to have enough discipline to kind of gauge like true demand versus what they're hearing and the excitement that exists in our little bubble world of Discord and Facebook and YouTube, right? Because there's a much bigger world out there that doesn't know what the hell sorcery is. And I got to check in on Discord here in a minute, guys, because we got an auction ending in an hour. I set alarms 3 times a day: 7 o'clock for the 1 hour warning, 7:10, Maybe Sean, if you're on and still watching, you can help me out with monitoring the auction. Yeah, okay. No new bids. So 7 o'clock, 7:50 is the 10-minute warning. And then, where's the, all right, so we're at 500. All right. All right, yeah. People are hitting me up about the proofs. Oh, sorry about that. All right, guys. So, sorry, I got distracted. Let me find the comments. All right, so I was talking about distribution, the risk of that. Let me get back to some of your comments here. What are we talking about in the chat? And then we'll go on to point number 2. I'm curious, what do you guys think about the risk of overprinting? Let me just go through I'm gonna Ron Burgundy this a little bit and just slap up the comments and react to them. Hopefully you guys don't say anything too effed up. Are they doing anything cool for the people who still haven't gotten their alpha precon decks, like when they put 3 extra packs? No, nothing cool, except you're gonna get your shit eventually. I'm still waiting on my uncut sheets. See the uncut sheet? There's a foil uncut sheet right there, and there's a foil uncut sheet right there. Use your imagination. And that wall, shit, man. I thought that wall was bigger, guys. I thought it was bigger. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty limiting. It's a decent height. I don't know. So I'm gonna have about this much room to work with, where you're gonna have uncut sheets and paintings. It's not a whole lot. Maybe I gotta play with some zoom or something. I want to have a nice backdrop. So I got foil uncut sheets coming, and then I got a lot of paintings. I'm gonna have some paintings like behind my computer setup here. But yeah, no, nothing special. Hopefully you just get your stuff and we get our sheets soon too. I'm very frustrated about the wait on that. Because I want to like design this wall, you know? I got a lot of paintings that I want to put up there and I need to get framed, but I can't really like wrap my mind around it because I don't know the size and quantity of the sheets yet. Still don't know quantity on that. All right. Good to see you making all this content and being active on Facebook as well. You're helping drive the sorcery push. Erico should have you on the payroll. Thanks, man. Appreciate the kind words. Yeah, I do it out of passion and fun, and also like I represent a lot of the artists, so I want to do well for them. I want to showcase their work and create visibility and value for their work. Like the most rewarding thing I ever hear, comments like that are great, and I really appreciate that. But when people say that like I never really noticed the artist's name on the card before, I never really cared so much about the art in the game, that is like a touching comment. That is what it's all about. It's very exciting to hear that, and the artists love that too. Of course, they really appreciate that. So it's very intrinsically rewarding working with the artists and creating value for them and seeing their artist proofs do great. Their original painting, we'll see how the Seagrave one does next week. If you guys don't buy it at reserve, then it's open season, baby. It might end up right there. I don't know. But yeah, the seller wants a certain price on that, so he's going to have a reserve. But yeah, I love the artwork first. My tiers of desire are original paintings, then artist proofs that are painted on the back, and then stuff that comes out of the machine, right? So like the curios, because I love the history of the game. I'm really into that too. I've always had a really fun time researching the history and just fascinated by like how these TCGs get built and how they come to market. And the art, the art's amazing on these ones in particular, so it's very exciting. And then the foils, you know, because they look phenomenal, and they have full art on the back, so that's pretty sweet. All right, the baby's waking up, guys. I got to get through your comments. Overprinting on beta would not be great for the game, in my opinion. Having the chase is important for games as well. Yes, so overprinting, we talked about the concerns there. There's also, in terms of chase, I am bullish on beta. A lot of people call it the player set, but I know that Eric is going to want to mimic early Magic, right? Just knowing how he is. I'm sure he's going to want like an ABU type thing where alpha and beta has mystique and value and intrigue. And it's not just purely a player set. A pure player set, if you compare to MTG roots, would be more like revised, right? That is the push to the mass market. So I think in beta, I'm hoping he's going to have the discipline to not go nuts with print, and I am highly confident that he's going to have some amazing chase elements. And I think that'll come by way at minimum of the curios. Maybe we'll see like some Braum-like surprises with some god tier artists that are like hugely famous, like and popular, like Braum. And I don't know. He said they're going to be different than so that's a possibility. He said they're going to be different than Alpha. So there's many possibilities on what that could be. It no longer has to be like these historical cards, which I love from Alpha personally. You can find more alternate artworks. You can find new surprise artists, which is tremendously exciting for all art enthusiasts. And these curios are nuts. They're rare, they're fun, they're valuable. People are really taking to those. So I think that's a tactic we're likely to see. All right. Another from Dual Brain this is something MTG people seem to have forgotten how to, overprinting and chase and retaining value, right? Oh, talking to Ed. I don't know who that looks like. That's directed to somebody else. Ron Burgundy, baby. Whatever comment goes on. Agree about getting him on the payroll. Thanks. Thank you. Let's see. I've had a few videos. Oh, Dual Brain MTG. Your name is Ed. My bad, dude. I think I've actually seen your channel, come to think of it. I think when I saw your name, I got you mixed up with somebody else. And there's another guy, Dante MTG, in my Discord. I thought you were Dante for a minute. That's hilarious. You've done some videos on Sorcery. I know you're like a big MTG guy. I'm just like all Sorcery all the time. That's my passion. So I played MTG as a kid. I'll tell you guys a quick little story. I've told it before, but there's some new people in the chat today. When I grew up in upstate New York, Rochester, New York, I was really into Magic in like elementary school age, right? And then freshman year of high school, my dad got a job in Philadelphia suburbs area, so we moved out of state. This was halfway through freshman year of high school, so it was the absolute mind f as I'm going through puberty and like changing mentally and physically, and and in like in my prime as a kid. So I lost all my childhood friends in this move, and I never played Magic again in my entire life. And you would think like when I came back to TCGs like a few years ago, right? I had like deep nostalgia for Magic from my roots, but I had absolutely zero desire somehow for some reason to buy into modern Magic. And you know what? Like when I started getting to high school age or through middle school when I was still playing it a bit, I kind of walked away anyway because it was still the same stuff. It was like coming out every 3 months, and I was like, I'm just a kid, man. I have no income. Like I got like chores around the house, and I get like some negligible money from my parents, right? And I would go buy packs at LGS or whatever. Even before I had my license, I'd have like my mom or someone, or like my friend's mom would drive us to the LGS, and we'd get like a couple packs of revised, sometimes like Legends Italian or some nonsense. And, we were like, what? Arabian Nights, $10 a pack? Go F yourself. Legends, $10? Out of your mind. I think they had Arabian Nights, $15. F you. I had no money, so I thought that was absurd. So I'd buy the revised packs, and it was a lot of fun, right? And but it was like coming out too fast. I couldn't keep up with it, so I was just like kind of getting burnt out anyway. And then like, I lost all my friends, so I had no one to play with. And then I just like, I said, screw it, through high school, college, never went back to it. Then my adult life, Sorcery, because the art, there's some of the MTG Alpha artists caught my attention. And then just the art in general, like the whole point of Sorcery, it has that throwback. It's playing on nostalgia. It has that throwback early '90s vibe, and it hits hard for old people like me. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel like a kid again. And going after stuff you now have the financial means a little better to chase, and you couldn't do before. All right, you only got a box, keeping it sealed. Yeah, so your guide is waiting for beta, I'm sure. Which is cool. There's going to be a lot of people like you. Opening Alpha felt so good. Yep, the box opening experience, pretty unanimous. Everyone loves it. A few others are saying that. Card quality. I'm sure, and the cards are quality as well. I was thinking of opening and grading the hits. Yeah, so, there's a lot of foils that have these, like, surface issues and roller lines and stuff. So people say the quality is good, and like I would generally agree, but it's like all the cores, like the aquamarine cores, the lighter cards in foil, they seem to have these roller lines that are just like killer. Like you're gonna expect like a little edging, like centering issues, things like that. But when there's a roller line on it, and it's like affecting the art and the like the immediate presentation of the illustration. That is a real bummer. So I hope that is something that can be improved. I think like Louis or the other guy on the Louis show. I always forget the freaking guy's name. So people always remind me on these lives like what the other guy's name is. That's into fab and stuff. He was making some really good points this week, by the way, and he was saying like hopefully they'll improve the roller line problem. All right, let's see. Christian. I don't remember Christian being on before. What's up, man? I can understand that, in my opinion, a Sorcery Alpha box reaches almost the beauty of one of your old school MTG fat packs. I hesitate as well opening my boxes. Yeah, you know what? Like I have like a fairly significant like sealed collection of Alpha Sorcery. I mean, I top pudged it. Avatar of the Realm. So I got like 4 cases from that, and then like I got a few other cases that I bought after release. But then like, I'm very busy with like all these like content creation initiatives I'm doing and running the auctions and doing projects with artists and stuff, right? So I didn't have a lot of time, and I was doing breaks on the channel too, and I still do sample pack breaks and I'll do box breaks again at some point, but I didn't have like much time to open stuff for myself, and then all of a sudden like boxes were like $1,000 a pop, $800 to $1,000, and I'm like, man, I don't know, I'm just not in a hurry. I'm just gonna like slow roll it, right? And I like handle I see a lot of cards because I sell them through consignment and stuff, so I don't have like the same itch as like maybe someone that hasn't opened much and wants to see a lot of these cards for the first time. So it helps me be disciplined in that regard, but it also makes me a freaking lunatic for the paintings. So I keep buying paintings still, even at like current market valuations as they've gone up, which is great. It's great value for the artists, and it's great to help and support them too with these artist proofs and things. All right, so let's see. Yeah, distributors have zero scruples. So I think that comment probably came as I was talking about, hey, people want it, Eric. Just print like 20,000, print like 200,000, no problem. We'll sell it. Don't worry, buddy. That's what they'll tell you all day. You got to be careful of that. Let's see. This is where I would put my uncut sheet if I had one. It says there's a gift there. I can't see it. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if that was supposed to come with that comment was supposed to come with an image. Pardukes. Who's watching Wheel of Time Season 2 or live action One Piece? I don't even know what that is, man. Wheel of Time. What network is that on? Is that an actual show? Isn't One Piece a card game? I'm an out of touch old man. I only know about Sorcery. Live action One Piece 2 episodes. The art is what brought me here, and the gameplay is why I stay. That's the way it should work, right? The art draws you in, and it's got to be a good game. And a lot of people are having a hell of a time loving the game. Let's see, yeah. Oh, yeah, Sweet Peas in Rochester area. Go Bills, baby. Where's my Josh Allen doll? I've been a massive Bills fan my entire life, and still am. So, yeah, I love Rochester and people from it. That's awesome. Yeah, Josh is the guy. That's Louie's guy. Hey, Louie. I don't know if you guys saw my latest video. I wasn't busting Louie's balls. I just thought it was I thought it'd be funny to do like a impression of Louie as if he was Joe Pesci, because you know how he starts the show like, well, so like the Joe Pesci's like, well, that's kind of what it reminded me of. It's pretty funny. You fucking prick, yeah. Who George? I don't know, man. There was no George this week. All right, so what is going on here? My Discord keeps blowing up and beeping. All right, guys. I got a few more minutes here. I gotta prep the auction. Let's get rid of. All right, let's go. Do we want to get to these other points? Massive demand for sorcery. We talked about that. BGS and CGS grading confirmed. So, finally, right? I mean, like, what the hell was going on there? It's open? It's not open? BGS is sending shit back. Then they're telling other people, no, we're not ready. Apparently, BGS is ready now. I mean, Louis just got a windfall of like a ton of graded cards. Simon said like a few weeks ago that he asked them to. Oh shit! Did I lose audio? How's my audio, guys? Anybody still out there? I got a warning that I lost audio, but maybe that was from my overhead cam, and it's not a big deal. If someone could comment if I still have audio. Oh, I'm on. All right. Yeah, so BGS, they're sending the cards back now. At least the company finally officially declared BGS is ready to go. CGC is ready to go. I have a Braum, not my card, right? I've never sold a sorcery card that I owned. I have sold hundreds of sample cards, probably like 100 art. Have I done 100 artist proofs? Dozens of artist proofs. Probably like 100, I would say, plus at this point. And high-end cards, auctions and stuff. Never sold my own card. Not a single one in 2 years. And like I did have cards early on. I got some sample packs from the company. I got one art pack and one silver pack, I think. Did they give me a silver pack? Shit, I can't. No, I think they just gave me one art pack. A sample card pack that had the artwork on the pack. And then I got the silver packs and Kickstarter. So I've done some breaks. That's the only thing of my own that I've sold. But I hate selling stuff. I'm just like a hoarder collector at heart, and I like amassing paintings, and the cards that I do go after, I tend to keep and not want to let go. So it's kind of funny that I haven't done that. All right, so audio is good. That's great. All right. Yeah, so going on. Yeah, BGS, CGC confirmed. So I don't know what I was talking about there, but we got the a CGC card. It'll be an interesting data point for the open market. That's going to go live the Philo Stone tonight in CGC Gem Mint 10, and then the Mikhail Nagypel card that I showed earlier. Yeah, yeah. My Discord's blowing up. Who would talk to me during a live? It's like this happens all the time. Like people hit me up on Facebook, and I'm like, "Yo, I'm live," or Discord. Like I do a tag everybody in my Discord. Hey, I'm going live. Join me. And then all of a sudden they start sending me DMs and like talking in my Discord and stuff. And I was like, I said it was live. You got me muted. You got my announcements muted. You're gonna miss the auctions and things if you do that. I know it's annoying because I do marathon auctions and I launch them like daily. So I do that everyone tag in Discord, but. I want people to be aware that there's like hot stuff coming through, especially for artist proofs. If there's only 25, that's a big deal. And, it's kind of like sometimes you only get one shot. All right. Date change allows timekeepers to get their store kits. We covered that. Plans to ramp up marketing. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they've been saying that for a bit here now. There was no specificity into what that marketing is. This has been a common gripe and criticism of the company, like, when are you going to market this product, right? And people are anxious because, like I've mentioned this before, Tony Sudlow, he goes to 3 LGSs in his hometown area. Not a single one of them knows what sorcery is. And he was like really pissed off. And I said, Tony, do they know who you are? And he's like, they know who I am. Like, they know the king. He's not that arrogant. He didn't call himself the king, but he was like, they know who I am. They do not know about sorcery. So WTF is Eric's Curious doing about marketing, right? Like, how do these stores not know what this game is? Because he's like really passionate about sorcery. He'll go to like shows and say, MTG, I'm all sorcery all the time. Check out this game, Sorcery. He's really excited about it. So it's just like an anecdotal point. And then like, Ed Bear Jr.'s told me the same. He'll go to the Renaissance Fair and these Magic guys come up to him. They want signatures for his like beautiful, amazing artwork that he's done for Magic or signed cards or whatever, right? And a lot of these guys never heard of sorcery. So how do you reach the masses? I mean, you could do engagement more. I mean, I think they lean heavily on Discord, and not a lot of people are on Discord. There's like 4,500 people in the official Discord, but it's not. There's like a cult of people. There's like 20 to 50 people maybe that are like super active in there. Daily, and a lot of people just tune it out. They have 100 Discords on their freaking page. Like look at my Discord. Should I even show it here? I don't know. You never know what people might be saying to me here. So look, I got this Discord, and like I don't even know what half this shit is. Like what are these Discords? I don't even know. Look, it just goes on and on. And then like eventually you can't even see them. They're way down the list. So people don't pay attention, right? That's not the way. Discord is limited. So Facebook, great. There's a lot of people on Facebook. This appeals to more of a mature audience. So you get like the midlife lunatics like myself trying to Peter Pan their way through a new indie TCG. And great. That's another avenue. They have a Facebook page. They stood up a group. They could be more active on there, or maybe lean into that and come up with some clever ideas like that promotional event where they dress up like your son's slitting your throat in the kitchen. Mage Slayer, you get 7 packs. Beautiful. That creates interest. I don't know. Go to shows, right? Show up at shows. There's only 9 people in the company, unless they hired more that they didn't announce. So it's hard to go to shows, right? So I understand that. Like, they got to get alpha out. They got to get beta out. Publications. I don't know. Advertise in all these magazines. Remember when Magic came out? It was in every freaking magazine. You had Scry Magazine. You had, what were these? The Duelist. There's these industry magazines that go to the LGSs. That's a great way for the stores to find out that this new game exists. You got content creators, you leverage them. We're doing our thing anyway, so, whatever. That's free marketing for them. That's great. The community group, I'm super active in there, so that's a lot of good free marketing publicity, and it's growing nicely. So it's reaching people somehow, some way. But how do you reach that next contingent of people? I think they're banking on word of mouth. They wanted to get into LGSs, get into stores. Inquest is another one, says Sean. Promotional event. Yeah, absolutely, Pardukes. I don't know. Do something, right? Like, have like the big sorcery event. Maybe they'll do that next year when they're more equipped to do that and have the time. And just publicize the shit out of that all over the place. And then word of mouth will spread. People will show up. Maybe you show up with some paintings. You bring a lot of cards. You bring a lot of foils. And they see the product and people get excited. Is anyone reading those magazines? I don't know. But they have like magazines, from what I understand, that go to these retailers that have the feature like the different games that are coming out. So that's a good way for retailers to find out. And then when retailers find out, their customers find out. Maybe they'll get, but they got to have access to product, right? So maybe Sorcery has plans to kind of grease these new stores with like samplers or something, like send them some product or something for them to get a taste and get excited and want to carry it. All right, so they say they're ramping marketing soon. They keep saying like this coming month. We're in September now, so maybe we'll see that play out in the coming weeks. It'll be interesting to see what their strategies are and how that manifests itself, but there was no detail on that, so I don't know. Who the hell knows? TCG Player will launch for Sorcery on 10 November to coincide with the beta release, and this is the last point, and a massive one. So this is free marketing in its purest form. You go on TCG Player is going to advertise on its website the top games and this and that. They're going to show like what games they carry. People are going to say, what is this Sorcery? The goofy thing about TCG is that you can't see the cards, right? So that's kind of unfortunate. But the economy that it creates is phenomenal because there will be a lot of sellers, a lot more ways, tremendously beneficial for the players to get these cheap-ass cards that they need to build their decks, right? So the non-foil, commons, ordinaries, exceptionals. I mean, in beta, probably the ordinaries, exceptionals, and elites, and probably the uniques too, they're not going to be worth a lot, would be my guess. Because there's going to be high volume. I think they're going to print a lot of beta. And they need to get those. They need to be able to buy like the 50 cards they need very cleanly and not go to like a Sorcery Discord marketplace or a Facebook marketplace and like buy these 2 cards from this guy and this 3 cards from that guy, or this bundle of all this random shit from this other guy. And it's inefficient, right? And eBay's inefficient too. TCG Player is kind of like it's got it all. People just throw up all kinds of crap. Flippers like throw up all their bulk on there, and you can just buy it up and fill out your decks. So that's great. And then, like I say, the marketing, the awareness it's going to create, because you're going to have another game. It gives it some credibility. Like, imagine if so originally it's interesting. They did like a 180 in like a month's time, right? So like a few weeks back, Simon was on Louis' show. Hey, Louis. And he said, hey, Louis, we don't know about TCG Player. We want it to be 1993 all over again. That's why you got curios. We're not going to tell you what the hell these curios are, And then this guy's going to create like a Eric's Curio Slam Fest. Print that on the back of the card. That's your new curio. That's the risk, right? If we don't know what it is, people will do whatever the hell they want, and it'll just be a lot of fraud. But I'm getting on a tangent here. We'll get that list eventually, I think, right? And good on the company to step up and say, like, that is a bullshit card. That one's not real. There was an incident there that they nipped in the bud pretty quickly. And it's cool that there is cards you can only discover through the pack opening experience. I do love that. And it creates tremendous chase. And that is going to be the wrinkle that's going to create value for beta, in my opinion. But yeah, you can't have like this old school mid-90s like throwback way of like, how the hell am I going to get these cards? I got to drive to Louie's house. Hey, Louie, I'm in West Virginia now. What kind of cards do you have? Like, that's not the real world anymore. You got to be able to go on the internet and get it seamlessly. If you're playing the game, you got to get it fast and efficiently. So TCG player, absolutely critical. That's a smart move. And the awareness. Now you have another game, and it's got credibility. It's not the goofy like indie, like what was the word they always use? The boutique game that doesn't believe in TCG player. It wants to do something so radically different, and just, I don't know, a little out of touch with like modern times, I think, to not be on like TCG player and not to make these games accessible. So good. I think they recognize that. They changed course on that, and they're doing it. And that's very good on a number of levels. It's important, and it's going to create a lot of awareness, and that will help valuations. You'll be able to get your cheap shit real cheap and play the game, and then the awareness will help the high-end cards because more people will be like, what is this game? More people will have the cards to be able to show other people the cards that they have. And awareness will grow, right? Like how they wanted it from word of mouth. All right, TCG players key, have to get on it. Glad to hear it's happening. Yeah, that was big. Definitely big. Yeah. TCG player onboarding costs like $50K according to Joey. Yeah, I mean, oh wait, maybe was this a follow-up point? Maybe that's why they stalled. They didn't have the stuff for the new stores to want in. I don't what do you mean by stalled? Like on getting on TCG player? I think that was a conscious decision where they just decided they didn't want to do it, but then they changed their mind and said, "Shit, we better do it." You know, it's the right call in my opinion. And then you want to get on Card Market, and like I remember people going nuts for Flesh and Blood. They're like, "Oh, it's on Card Market now." Everyone in freaking what is that? A UK only, or is that all Europe? I don't know. Europeans were happy. They're like, I'm in America here, right? We got some Europeans on here, like it's middle of the night. You guys are crazy staying up this late. But everyone's like card market in Europe, right? They need to get it too. They don't want to be buying like 50-cent cards off TCG player and some American sending it to them for $50 and then paying like $25 minimum import fees on his cheap ass cards, right? You pay import fees on artist proof cards and paintings and things, right? Not on like 20-cent cards. Is it called Card Market? I don't know what it's called. It's 7:30. So what happens with these auctions? I got to schedule it to launch at 8, and if I don't do it with a 30-minute advance, it's not going to launch at 8. So now we're already in the danger zone. So I need to wrap this up is what I'm saying, basically. I think I touched on all the points from the announcement. Let me add this guy to the stream. I'm going to show you one more time what's coming up here, guys. And then you're going to see it probably now at like 8:15 or 8:30. It's all right. We'll start a little late, but we'll finish strong, right? So let me go. Yeah, we're good with this, right? Yeah, you're seeing this? All right, so the Gem Mint Philo Stone 48-hour auction. It's going to have a higher reserve than you saw for the raw Philo Stone. Usually someone asks me, like, why do you do like a undisclosed reserve? And the reason is, like, I feel like if you pre-disclose the reserve, it biases it. Like, a lot of people are going to not bother bidding, and then that creates a false perception on the market that there's not interest in the product, right? That's usually not the case. Usually there is interest, and there's waning interest at a certain price point. Like, people fall off, right? They're either, it's too much, I can't afford it, or, I just want to hold out, maybe it'll be cheaper later if the company hits some hiccups or something, right? So if you have if you have no reserve, then you get no bias, but you get no protection for the seller. Then they're obligated to sell. And if like people fall asleep before the auction close and it's way under market, that's a bad feel for the seller. That's not good for the seller. So if you need the reserve to protect the seller, And then to be undisclosed, it doesn't bias the bids at all. People will just bid and they'll go up to whatever they feel is reasonable. And then like once the reserve is hit, it gets disclosed anyway. So it's really the only point of it is to protect the seller. If it doesn't hit their reserve, it gives them that flexibility to say like, hey, I'll just keep the card, or let's offer it to the top bidders at the reserve, at my reserve target. And if it sells, great. If it doesn't, then there's a choice to be made. You either got to negotiate and haggle a little bit, or you decide to keep the card and hope for better days, right? So anyway, that's the deal. This is going to have a reserve. It's going to be a higher reserve. I'll just say that and leave it at that. And then that's the Gem Mint CGC 10. This guy is about to end at 8 o'clock. There's Eric looking jolly as a mofo. Oh, blurry as a mofo, jolly as a mofo. Look at this guy. Never had a bad day in his life, even before he's about to be consumed by the bullfrog. Then this one's already gone. But the one that's coming up here is this absolute freaking absurd painting by Mr. Nikel Nagypal. Absolute legend. Look at it. It's better than the original painting. It's better, I think. I love the Blue River. I think that adds like just an amazing addition to this piece. A majestic beauty unlike any other. It looks like a fantasy map from a video game or something, right? So there you go. Before the sinkhole, you had this beautiful, majestic field. It takes you back a few years, right? You got the bridge. You got a beautiful river. You got a beautiful clear day. You got the freaking cows here grazing on the horizon. And then whammy, the sinkhole. The dark, ominous sky, the river, the brush, you know, it's a miserable fall day. The freaking bridge goes to shit, falls into the sinkhole. Epic disaster. Impending collapse. It's not an impending collapse. It is the collapse, right? It's impending because it destroys a nearby site when you sacrifice this guy. So it comes into play. You sacrifice it. You take down people with you. That's what a sinkhole does. And look how gorgeous that painting is. That is unbelievable. All right, so I need to get these auctions set up. The baby's awake. The wife's probably pissed. It's been like almost an hour and a half here for an impromptu live. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. We had like 20-some people. That's pretty good, given that there was no heads up on what was going on. Some Europeans probably went to sleep. Some are hardcore and stay up late. There's always like a outsized number of Europeans. I think I got a big European following. And then like a handful of Americans too. So thanks, guys, for tuning in. Always a good time. And yeah, keep a lookout for the Philo Stone and more amazing artist proofs. So yes, Lindsay Karamet artist proofs will be coming sometime in the next few weeks or months. Another artist is going to announce that this person, I almost said their gender, this additional artist I'll be working with to offer their proofs. And Mikkel, I think, said he just sent me 4 more. Oh, man. Earlier today, he told me. It's like a few more and like another sketch, right? And I still have a few. I think I got a couple sinkholes, a drought, and a meteor shower from Mikkel. I did not have time to show the Elvira Palakowska artist proofs. I have several of hers. I got all the Pompetti proofs. Not all 25 copies of all 25, but all 25 variants. A lot of Pompetti, right? So if you want a complete set of Pompetti, that's possible. Or if you just like have favorites, just hit me up. I'll let you know the pricing. Patreon supporters also get a 10% discount on Vincent Pompetti and Elvira Palakowska. That's something that I worked out with them, and the artist wanted to do that to help sell some of their proofs. And then really quick here, guys, before we wrap up, I did have the Elvira proofs on hand, and there's several of those too. We could do it. This is, if anyone wants a complete set, I just showcased this complete set. Someone actually hit me up and is considering it. It's a lot of cards. She has like 17 cards in alpha, right? So this is series number 6. Come on, baby. Give me that zoom. Number 6 from Elvira Palakowska, right? And they're all these very detailed, beautiful, intricate ink artist proof of every single card in her alpha set. I love this one. This guy's not messing around. The architectural detail, that's her calling card. I love like this dot technique. I've seen a few artists play this, and it looks really awesome. Look at that one. That's incredible. All those little ink dots. Very intricate. The ink is nice because it's such like a fine point, right? It's such a clean look. It looks really great. Imagine if you had a whole set of these. It just displays beautifully. Or if you could use it in a game. These are all concept derivatives of their original illustration. So they look phenomenal. And there it is, guys. That is the full set. 6 of 25. So we got a full set from Elvira. And then I have a few copies. I might have a few more copies of some of her others. Maybe not a complete set, but if you just want like a onesie twosies here, got them all from Elvira. Vincent Pompetti, many from him. A few from Mikhail Nagy-Paul. Lindsay Crumet coming. Another undisclosed artist coming. And I do have more from Severin Pignou as well. Great French artist, Severin. So those will be coming through auction. The only ones available to buy direct right now. Oh, and also Truett Parrish. We just sold some from Truett. He's working on some more. But the ones that are immediately available for direct sale will be the Vincent Pompetti and the Elvira Polakowska. And the others will come through auction. From, in the near term, Mikhail, Severin. A little later, Truett. More Mikhail. Lindsay Crumet. And who am I missing? Severin, I said. Another surprise artist yet to be announced. That's why I didn't say it. And I think that's it. I think that's it for now. There's some artists working. There's some... because there's several that like I'm likely to work with, but we don't know on timing yet because they're very busy and they don't want to deal with artist proofs right now, you know? But look for that Seagrave, the Dan Seagrave, Scorched Earth, baby. Scorched Earth, original painting next week. Thanks for tuning in, guys. A lot of fun. I really got to go. I got to get this auction set up. It'll kick off by, let's kick off at 8:30 today for these new auctions. Everybody have a great night. Talk to you soon. Always stay in touch with the Collector Arthouse Discord, where I announce when I'm going live on a whim. And the Discord, if you want to talk about sorcery every day with people that love sorcery, nice positive culture in the Collector Arthouse Discord. Treat each other with respect, or I'll boot your ass out the door. Right out the door, baby. I don't like to ban people, but if they get too out of hand and just like act toxic and destroy the experience for others, get the fuck out of here, you know? It's a game, you know? We're trying to have fun. And the community group is awesome. It's a lot of fun, too. Look at that. Look, if you're going to open up cards on Scream, you got to have well-manicured nails, you know? Don't be showing up with these freak show Freddy Krueger nails. You gotta it requires a little bit of maintenance to show some cards, all right? So a little bit of basic maintenance. That's it, guys. Join the communities. A lot of fun. A lot of good stuff going on. Beta, Eric's going to do the right thing and not print the shit out of that. All right? Don't be wooed by the demand that the distributor tries to manufacture. Take it easy. There's always revised. Arthurian Legends, let's pray that freaking thing comes out first quarter or second quarter, fine, of next year. If it's the second half of next year, I'll be losing my mind. You know? I need that to come out. The first half of the year, please. The mini set after Arthurian Legends, maybe we'll see that earlier in the year to hold it down and keep us sustained until Arthurian Legends. But come on now, let's get Arthurian Legends coming out. They originally said it would come out this calendar year, so I don't want that to be the only featured set next year or in the talented next year. That would be rough. All right, guys, hour and a half. Thank you. Take care. Join the groups. I'll talk to you soon. Hit me up if you're interested in any of the artist proofs, and have a wonderful weekend and a great Labor Day if you're in the United States and celebrate such a thing. Take care. See you.